What's going on, guys? This is Tellman Knutson. Welcome. I actually had some hesitations, like some slight anxiety about creating this live stream. Part of me was like, this is too basic. Part of me was like, it's too hypey. But I figured, it was really something that I've been thinking about for a while, and I wanted to share with you. The title and topic of today's live stream is how to make more money. And there are a lot of ways to make more money, but I'd like to share with you what I've learned in, let's see, I'm 46 now. I started my first business when I was 19. So 27 years of entrepreneurship, and 20 of those years have been internet entrepreneurship. And so before I jump in, number one is I want to say is if you're new to building a business online, or maybe you're new to entrepreneurship as a whole, if you have questions about anything we talk about today, about email marketing, about digital marketing, about virtual or digital entrepreneurship, about copywriting, if you have any questions about email list building, anything we cover today, please ask them in the comments below. And if you ask them while I'm live, then I will answer them while I'm live. And if you ask them afterward, if you see this in a replay, then I will answer them or I'll do my absolute best to answer them in a future video. But we're actually doing something kind of cool tomorrow. I'm doing a live teleseminar. What's a teleseminar? A teleseminar came before a webinar. It's old school technology. Okay. It's a bridge line. It's a conference line. It's a conference call. And I've only got 100 lines available. And this is the first conference call. This is the first teleseminar that I've done in, I think, 15 years. Webinars came in and swooped in and completely outmoded teleseminars. And everyone stopped doing them, including me. I made millions and millions of dollars with teleseminars in like from 2005 to 2009, 2004 to 2009, a lot of like an enormous amount of money with teleseminars. And webinars with their visual component came in, but they're different, right? They're different than talking on the phone. And when I'm talking with like my closest friends, family members, people that I really like, I don't normally lead with a Zoom call. I don't normally lead with a FaceTime. I normally lead with a phone call. Like the people that I want to connect with the most, for whatever reason, I lead with phone call. Maybe you do too. Like, let me know what medium do you connect in real time with people when you can't be face to face, right? And so I was like, well, I'm going to do this call on the single most important topic that I've learned. The single most important secret that I've discovered in 27 years of being an entrepreneur and 20 years of being an online digital entrepreneur. This is the secret sauce. This is the one big thing. And so if you'd like to join us on tomorrow's call, I only have 100 lines available, and we already have like 83 people registered. I think it's going to be a lot more. So we're going to do this call tomorrow. And if you want a link, what I want you to do is comment in the comment down below this video and send me a private message or a direct message on whatever platform you're watching this on. And that will move you to the front of the line. I will do my absolute best to get you a link today so that you can register and get all the call-in information and everything that you need for tomorrow. So with that said, I strongly encourage you, first of all, to ask intelligent questions, ask needle-moving questions. I have a coaching program. It's called Train with Tellman. And on our weekly Train with Tellman calls, I train everyone to act, to behave, and to take the actions that successful entrepreneurs take. And one of those actions is asking questions that will move you forward more quickly in the directions of your goals. And so my students get on our weekly call and they check in. They say what they accomplished in the last 7 days. Then they say that they're aiming to accomplish, what they're aiming to actually complete and get done in the next 7 days in terms of their business and their marketing. And then they ask their single biggest needle mover question that will move them forward. And there's one thing that I've noticed is that some people, they don't ask questions. I've had a couple people show up to the calls and lurk, and that's like intolerable, right? It's just like such a waste. It's just such a waste of everyone's time. Then there are people who kind of ask throwaway questions. They ask a question that they haven't really thought about and that really isn't going to make a difference in their lives or their business, even if they knew the answer. Then sometimes people ask a question, I give them an answer, and they give me pushback, right? They like ask a really important question, and they get an answer they don't want to hear, and so they fight it, right? And then they don't do anything about it. And then there are the people who make enormous progress. And the people who make enormous progress are working their butt off all week long to implement the different strategies and principles, usually the ones that I teach in my courses or that I suggest to them during our weekly calls to help solve their other problems. They hustle, they get the job done no matter what before the next call. And inevitably, when you get the job done and you move it forward, then you see your next obstacle ahead. But often you don't see that next obstacle until you've completed what you're working on right now. And when there's that next obstacle, if it's an obstacle, you either don't know how to get around it, you don't know how to get through it, you don't completely understand it, maybe you don't see it clearly. And if you can ask questions about how to overcome, how to bypass, how to get through, how to embrace those challenges and obstacles that are standing in your way of moving forward in the direction of your goals, then you can make progress 1,000 times faster. And when you see these overnight success stories or people who seem to be incredibly successful overnight, usually they weren't, number one. And number two, they usually did create an enormous amount of momentum in a short period of time after a lot of hard work and foundation laid, often for years. But when you make enormous progress really fast, you're going for it. Every day you're up at 5 a.m. and you're going for it with everything you've got. And you're seeking answers, you're seeking solutions, you're trying to get there faster. And so if you're not asking needle moving questions to the people in your life who've already done what you want to do, who've already learned what you want to learn, who've already been successful doing the things you want to be successful at, if you're not asking those questions, you're never going to get there. And if you're just waiting for someone else to dole out to you cookie cutter advice, you're also never going to get there because you're not properly motivated. You need to be engaged with the process. And so learning how to ask clear, concise, important questions that'll really move things forward in your business is one of the best things you can do. Speaking of best, one of the types of questions that I get a lot from my students is, what should I do? What's the best way to do this? What's the best way to do that? What's the best tech stack? What's the best CRM? What's the best autoresponder? What's the best funnel builder? What's the best tracking software? What's the best video software? And there's no such thing. First of all, it's always getting better, right? There's always new competitors coming out of the marketplace. There's always things that are better. And there are what's the standard right now with whatever you're doing. And this applies to weight loss. This applies to building a business, making more money. It applies to relationships. Applies to family. All the things, and spirituality. There's no best, but what there is you can ask questions about how to improve. How can I do this better? Right? What do I need to do to become better, to become stronger, to become more skilled? And so it could be like a great question, for example, would be, hey, Tellman, I have a headline on a sales letter that I wrote. I think it's a little weak and I'm going to go live and I'm looking for a better headline or a better headline structure or something that might out-convert what I currently have. Would you be willing to take a look at my sales page and give me a couple suggestions on things to test that you think might help me to out-convert what I'm leading with my control? Like, that's a good question. Or saying, hey, Tellman, I'm on a super tight budget. As a matter of fact, I'm on a $0 budget and I want to start an email-driven business. What software or platforms are out there that I can do that for free? Or I want something really simple to use with as little complexity as possible, but I also want really good deliverability and a really easy user interface. What would be the best autoresponder to use that has those types of features? And so asking questions, like rather than best, say, you could say, like, how many upsells should I have on my funnel? And the answer is there's no should. But as you try different things, you're going to discover what works the best for you, what works the best for your business, what works the best for your customers and your clients. And that discovery process is how you're going to find your place. That discovery process is where you're going to see your success. When you learn your secret sauce, when you realize what your secret weapon is, what your magic bullet is, what your holy grail is, how you do things in an extraordinary way. But we realize this and we learn this over a long period of time. We realize this and we learn this through trial and error, and going to experts and helping to shortcut your trial and error is great. It's great. Point here is, the more specific your question and the more impactful the answer would be. Like, if you really focus in and take a look at where you're struggling in your life, where you're struggling in your business right now, and ask a question about alleviating that struggle so you can move forward and move beyond it, that's gonna make a big difference. And so I encourage you to ask any questions you might have in the comments below. The clearer and the more specific your question is, the better, right? So hit me up with any questions that you have below. I will do my best to answer. If you have any questions about digital marketing, email entrepreneurship, entrepreneurship in general, let me know. And the title of this live stream is How to Make More Money. And one of the things that I've found is that I've trained over 250,000 paying clients and customers how to grow as entrepreneurs. And one of the things that I focus on the most is how to break free from what my friend Joshua Shafran calls the time for money trap. And the time for money trap, aka a job in most cases, is an example of the golden handcuffs, right? It creates security, which is good. It creates consistency, which is good. It creates steady income, which is good. And it has, you have steady time to clock in and clock out. Those are all great things to live a reasonable, balanced life, which is great, especially if you have a family and so on. However, it's a trap as well. At the same time, it's a trap because trading our time for money, either hourly or salary, it's the quickest and easiest way to get stuck, to stay complacent, and to never, just go for years without really being in control of your own future or your own financial destiny. And so when you're trading your time for money, that in a job or something similar, it's very similar to if you're a salesperson and you're trying to sell to one person at a time, face to face. You're doing a direct exchange, right? And it's the business owner, you're giving your time for the business is giving the money in return. Hopefully you're doing an above average job with your work and your output, with whatever it is you're doing, any job, right? But the problem is when you're one-to-one, we only have so much time, right? So you can only spend so much time working in the day. And if you're just getting paid hourly, if you're getting paid salary, and it's that simple, there's no real way out, right? Whereas what I found, and I had the luck of stumbling across this 20 years ago, is I found that when you focus on helping groups of people instead of helping individuals, you can help a lot more people. And if you focus on how you're helping them and getting better and better and better at helping more people solve bigger problems, what happens is you get paid more money for the time, effort, and energy that you put in, and it is no longer tied to your time. It's tied to your creativity and ability to improve your skill at helping those people to solve their problems. So in my world, we call this list building. We call it building an email list. Now, there are a lot of platforms that are out there that you can interact with and use in order to build your email list. I'm live streaming to 8 different places at once right now. Right now, I'm live streaming to my personal Facebook page, one of my business Facebook pages. I'm live streaming to 2 separate Facebook groups that I have. I'm live streaming on YouTube. I'm live streaming on Twitter. I'm live streaming on LinkedIn. And that's one to many. It's not one to one, it's one to many. And these videos that I do, most of them end up driving people back to join my email list and to learn more about list building and email marketing in this case. And so if you want an invitation to tomorrow's teleseminar about email marketing and building your list in 2024, then comment in the comments below and shoot me a private message if you can on the platform that you're on. That'll put you at the front of the line, and I will send you a link to where you can register for that teleseminar and join us live on the call. It'll be awesome. So if you think about it this way, imagine that all of the money that you made happened through sales via email. Okay. And I'd like you to start by thinking about sending one email to one person at one time. So you write an email, and there's a link to buy something in the email, and you send it to someone. And hopefully it's someone you have a good relationship with, right? You have a good communication relationship with. And you spend maybe 3 hours a day sending out these individual emails to people hoping they're going to buy stuff. Well, I'd like you to imagine that if you spent the same amount of time writing that email, except instead of sending it to one person at a time, you sent it to 10 people at a time. And if the people were of similar age, if the people were of similar demographic, if the people made a similar amount of money, if the people that you're sending to all had a similar problem, and you were solving for that problem in the email with the product or service you were selling, then do you think sending to one person at a time would make you more money, or 10 people at a time? Well, if you got really good at it, what about 100 people at a time, right? And you can start thinking about having a sales conversation one-on-one versus now selling from stage, for example, right? Like get up on stage at the conference, and maybe you're do a 90-minute presentation to 1,500 people, and you sell at the end. And now what's going to make you more money? Spending 90 minutes doing that presentation to 1,500 people or one person? Well, in most cases, if you're good at it and you're skilled and you practice, in most cases, you doing the same presentation to 1,500 similar people is going to make you a lot more money than just one-on-one. And this is the one-to-many approach. And when I learned about email marketing and list building, it was the first time I was able to consistently grow my income outside of just the manual labor, time, and the grind effort I was putting into my various businesses before that. It was the first way I was able to get leverage. And that's what happens when you shift from one-to-one to one-to-many in your marketing approach, and from one-to-one to one-to-many in your product or service delivery approach. You get enormous leverage. And so as you build an audience, as you build an email list of people who are interested in what you're doing, that you build trust, rapport, and connection with them over time, what ends up happening is your relationship with them improves. They learn who you are. They learn what they can count on you for, what they can't count on you for, how you show up, what your personality is like, what your style is like, whether you're genuinely committed to helping them, whether you're just trying to take as much money from them as possible. You know, all of these things become clear over time. And what you'll find if you treat that list well is it's just like growing an apple orchard. It's just like planting the seeds, taking care of them, watching the plants grow, watching the trees grow, watching the apples then start coming in and produce a harvest year after year after year. And if you take care of those trees and you take care of the apple orchard, like it produces enormous profit for you for decades. Your list is the same way. Your list is the same way. It starts today, and the bigger it grows and the deeper your connection grows with your list, the more money it makes, because you are focused on helping your people, your list, solve the biggest problems in their life. And they're looking to you as a leader for advice on how to solve those problems. So if your personal income is plateaued, if it's going down and you're tired of it and that you want more freedom, first of all, it's going to take a lot of hard work. Okay, it's especially if you're gainfully employed, which I would recommend that you stay gainfully employed if you are. It's nights and weekends, right? Or your equivalent. But for most people, it's nights and weekends. So it's whether you have a family, whether you're single, whether you're a single father or mother, whatever you are, whether you're just taking care of yourself, whether you're taking care of yourself and a spouse, whether you're taking care of yourself and a spouse and a kid or kids, whether you're taking care of your parents or your grandparents, and whatever it is, whoever you're responsible for the time that you spend, do you really want to trade your life away 1 hour at a time, or do you want to break free? And so breaking free requires learning some new skills and putting in the time, the effort, the energy, and going through the hard knocks of failing over and over and over again until you really figure this out for yourself, because everyone's going to do it a little different. And so if you're ready to start breaking free and getting some leverage so that you can not be stuck trading time and money for the rest of your life, then number one, ask me questions. I'm here to help you get unstuck. Number two, join us on tomorrow's call if you can. Again, go ahead and shoot me a comment. Shoot me a comment down below. And what we'll do is, here's what I'll do. I'll tell you exactly what we'll do. What we'll do is, I'm going to grab you a link right now. So go ahead and one second here. Let me just find this. Yeah, so ask me your biggest question about marketing, entrepreneurship, email marketing, copywriting in the comments. I will happily answer it. And if you would like a link to tomorrow, to where you can register for tomorrow's list building teleseminar, let me know in the comments and shoot me a DM, and I will do my absolute best to send you a link. And in the meantime, this is going to come through for some of you, but it won't come through for all of you because of the way this platform works. I'm just going to go ahead and drop a link right into the comments where you guys can go and register now if you really want to. As a matter of fact, I'm going to put this on a banner. It's a long link, which isn't cool, I know, but I'm going to do it anyway. All right. This is where you can go and register for tomorrow's teleseminar. Again, sorry about the long link. mascotland.com/listbuilding-teleseminar-reg. So listbuilding-teleseminar, TELESEMINAR-reg. And I just dropped that in the comments for those of you that want to go and log in. So that is all for now, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. I've got some copy to write and some projects to bang out here today. So I hope you have a great day. Update, by the way. I'm on day 74 of 75 hard today. So final stretch, and it's going well. I'm about to go do some yoga as my first workout. It's noon, so I'm just getting my first workout in, and looking forward to going for a run this afternoon. So I hope you all are well, and we'll talk to you very, very soon. This is Tellman Knudsen. Thank you for being here. Hit me with your questions, and I'll hit you with my answers. Over and out. Bye-bye.